Hello friends, Navamsa, that is a word which we have heard so many times, which we talk about so many times, but how many of us understand what is Navamsa and then what is Navamsa chart showing? One is the main rashi chart which we call D1, the other second most important and many people would say it is more important than rashi chart, and I can't disagree, neither do I agree nor disagree. So I think there's a lot of truth in that statement when someone says Navamsa chart is more important, if not equally as important as the main rashi chart. So let us understand what they mean. Okay, then we'll see how to use and why to use it, or rather what is the importance of Navamsa in horoscope analysis and what we can find from that Navamsa chart. What's in there for us to analyze, right? So I'll keep this video brief, not more than 10-12 minutes. That's what I will try. I don't know, because I'm going to go with the flow. To understand Navamsa chart, let's see how it is used. Then we'll trace it back. The number one use of Navamsa chart, which I'm sure most of you know about, is they use this in relationship matters to see the marriage, to look at relationships and related subjects. So why Navamsa is only about relationships, or why Navamsa is always used in case of relationships by people who use Navamsa? They will always use it for marriage and relationship purposes. So what is the rationale behind this? What's the reason? Let us understand the seventh house for that, right? Seventh house is the house where we see relationships, correct? Seventh house is the house in the larger context. It shows the other in our life. The other means what? When you are talking to a company, when you are negotiating with a company, any entity, that entity is the seventh house for you at that point in time. When you are talking of business, or if you, the business partner, that is seventh house. Marriage partner, that is seventh house. You are negotiating anything with anyone, the other person, the other entity takes the seventh house. Why relationship is so important in the most important signification of seventh house? That is because in a person's life, when the person marries or stays or is in a serious relationship with someone, that someone becomes a major stakeholder, major participant in your life, and your life matters. That is why seventh house is kind of a reflection of the first house, that is you. The topic is about Navamsa, not seventh house. I remember that, don't worry. So when we are talking about marriage, we talk of seventh house, but we look at Navamsa chart. But Navamsa is the ninth division. Navamsa is not the seventh division. Coincidentally, the D7, that is the Saptamsha chart, is seen for progeny, for what we create, what we bring to this world, our contribution to this world. That is the Saptamsha D7, not D9. D9, though it is seen in matters relating to seventh house, is a Navamsa chart. It is the ninth division of a rashi, the sign. So what is the Navamsa chart then? So logically, if you see that if people in the ancient times and in modern times carrying that tradition see the Navamsa chart for marriage and relationships, it means this. It means that the matters relating from other is to be seen from D9 chart, the Navamsa chart. And why so? So now let's try to get the answer to this question. What does D1, the rashi chart, represent? The main horoscope, the birth chart. And what does Navamsa represent? The birth chart represents what you bring in this world by virtue of your past life karmas, the sum total of past life karmas. If Venus is sitting in a specific sign at a specific degree in your horoscope, there is a reason for that. You have earned it by virtue of your past good and bad karmas. That represents what you are capable of, what you are born with, what good skills, bad circumstances, good qualities, bad qualities you are born with, what you have been given. It's a power, it's a hurdle, it's an obstruction, it's a blessing to you. That is your D1 chart. It doesn't represent a fact, it represents a possibility. Understand this, guys, it's very important. Okay, if you miss this important point about D1, you'll miss what is D9 about. D9 doesn't represent fact, D1 doesn't represent the facts, it represents the possibilities, it represents a set of probabilities. You're born with those qualities, you're born with those disqualifications, you're born with those hurdles. A prime minister or a successful person in business was born in a very modest family, in a very modest situation, but born with some skills. Similarly, some other person, a child of a successful businessman or politician, is born with a silver spoon, but perhaps not so lucky in terms of the skills to be born with. So that is something you're born with. That is the rashi main chart. It does not represent fact. Predictions cannot be given only, or should not be given only on the basis of rashi chart. You are just going by the promise. You are not going by the fact. So where is the fact? Now you know the answer. Fact is in D9, the Navamsa chart. So how come? Navamsa chart is representing the other. Who is the other? Just the wife or business partner? No. The other is that universe with whom you are forming a relationship all the time. You are in that relationship right from the moment you are born and right till the moment you will breathe your last, and then go over to the next cycle of birth. You are always in a relationship. Remember the word relationship in the context of 7th house. I am using the word here again. You are in constant relationship with the universal whole. W-H-O-R-E-L-E, whole. You are the part of that whole. It's a beautiful concept, isn't it? We are part of the bigger thing. The bigger thing manifests itself through us. That bigger thing you call divine intelligence, God, whatever you want to call it, Paramatma, your Atma, it's up to you. Let's not get into semantics and definitions here. The fact is, you are always in relationship with the nature, with the universe, with the higher self. That relationship, my dear friends, is represented by Navamsa chart. And that represents the messages you will receive from that higher energy. And that is a fact. It is not a set of probabilities. It is not based on chance. It's based on facts. D1 represents what you're born with, what you're capable of. How will you deal with those messages from the higher universe, the divine energy that is continuously communicating with you because you are part of it. You don't exist by yourself in this world. Okay, you are always part of something. If you believe in astrology, logically, reasonably, without the belief system, if you think that astrology and Jyotish is something for real, then you must also accept this fact that you are in constant relationship with the higher self, the higher energies, the larger than you energies. Those energies are continuously sending you messages and these messages are seen from the D9 chart. Why D9 chart? Well, I can explain you mathematically, I can explain you devotionally, in terms of religion, in terms of mathematics. Okay, well, I'll explain in terms of mathematics here. Navamsha is ninth division. There are in a sign there are nakshatras. There are 4 plus 4 plus 1/4 of the nakshatras. That makes it 9 divisions of a rashi. That rashi is that division is a pada, is a nakshatra pada. Outside nakshatra, in the independence context, it is a navamsha. They measure the same. Nakshatra pada and navamsha, they measure the same. When you're talking in terms of a nakshatra, you call it a pada or a charan in North India. In South, and more popular word is pada. Nakshatra pada measures 3 degree 20 minutes, and a Navamsha measures the same 3 degree 20 minutes, but Navamsha is more independent. It's your relationship with the creation. In numerology also, I mean, from 0 you forget. Let's not talk about it. 1 to 9. The ninth is the end point. Then it's a complete transformation thing. It's not coincidence that you have only this 9 basic digits to play with. 9 represents a lot, right? There are 9 Navamshas in a rashi. You multiply 12 rashis by 9 Navamsha in each, you get 108. That's why in religious context, the mantras, and in Vedic context, I should say, the mantras are always recited in the multiples of 108 or 1008. 1 and 8 will be at the beginning and the end. So Navamsha is representing your relationship with the other, with the higher self. So in the worldly matters, in day-to-day matters, that other is your spouse. That is why in marriage and so on, Navamsha is referred to. If you want to know about your spouse, don't see the 7th house in Rashi chart. See the 7th house in your Navamsha chart. If you want to see how your marriage would be, how your relationships would be, how do you handle, are you good at it? All these things are to be seen from 7th house in Rashi chart, the D1 chart. But what will happen to you, how your spouse would be, will you have a good relationship, will you have it, okay, that is seen from Navamsha chart. How you deal with it is Rashi chart. So you are born with Rashi chart. This is how you're capable of, how good you are, that is your Rashi chart. What will happen is your Navamsha chart. This is destiny, my dear friend. This is destiny. This is free will. How much good or bad karmas you have done in the past, you get this. But you have always free will to turn things around. The volume is different, mind you. The volume is different. How much good effort you have to put in to undo the volume of negative efforts you have done in the past. Like for example, Hitler. The millions of people he has killed. If he does good charity for 2 years, is it okay? No. He has to put equal and opposite amount of energies to undo the wrongs done in that life. We know him as Hitler. That's an example. So what is fact? What will happen over which you have no control? Those messages that we receive and those are acted upon, and we have no will not to follow, those are seen from the Navamsha Kundi. That is D9. Okay? That is the concept. So D9 is something you have no control. D1 is something you have control. You have all those skills. You can turn things around by virtue of your karma. But the limits are set in D9 chart. That is why in predictions also, for example, Saturn, you always look at, I'm giving a great hint to you guys, look at the chart in the D9. Let's say Saturn now is in Sagittarius, somewhere around 13, it's going to go to Purvashada, or it's already gone. So it's near about 13 degree 20 minutes in Sagittarius right now as I'm talking to you. right? So it was in water sign. Now the moment it crosses 1320, it will go to fire sign. Fire sign means it's going to be in I think Leo in Navamsha Kundi. So see which planets are in trine in your chart with Leo, which are in fire signs in your Navamsha sign. That gives a lot of clues, the houses they own in the Rashi chart. This is how you do predictions, because that is a fact. What you touch some aspect of your life in as per D1 chart, but what actually will happen is seen from D9 chart. That is the power of Navamsha. It's a very powerful tool, man. Okay, I hope I gave you a good perspective and some good ideas to ponder over what exactly is Navamsha, and let's comment on this. I'll be looking at the comments that you type after watching this video, and I'll respond to them. Thank you.